everyone. I'm your brother, and I will be we are the host country for this August webinar. And inshallah, to formally start our webinar series this afternoon, we would be starting with the recitation of the Holy Quran. And I'd like to call on our brother Al-Akh Ustadz Ahmadi Asanin to formally give us a recitation of the Quran. Faddal, Ustad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ويوم القيامة ترى الذين كذبوا على الله وجوههم مسودة أليس في جهنم مثوى للمتكبرين وينجي الله الذين اتقوا بمفازتهم لا يمسهم السوء ولا هم يحزنون الله خالق كل شيء وهو على كل شيء وكيل له مقاليد السماوات والأرض والذين كفروا بآيات الله أولئك هم الخاسرون قل أفغير الله تأمروني أعبد أيها الجاهلون ولقد أوحي إليك وإلى الذين من قبلك لئن أشركت ليحبطن عملك ولتكونن من الخاسرين بل الله فاعبد وكن من الشاكرين وما قدر الله حق قدره والأرض جميعا قبضته يوم القيامة والسماوات مطويات بيمينه سبحانه وتعالى عما يشركون ونفخ في الصور فصعق من في السماوات ومن في الأرض إلا من شاء الله ثم نفخ فيه أخرى فإذا هم قيام ينظرون وأشرقت الأرض بنور ربها ووضع الكتاب وجيء بالنبيين والشهداء وقضي بينهم بالحق وهم لا يظلمون صدق الله.
ما شاء الله.
Dr. Asghar, your mic is muted. Please unmute your mic.
And open the camera too.
The what and whys of community development. So, Alhamdulillah, this is a advanced discussion, inshallah, as we prosper during our June and July, as we focus on the concept and the theory of the community development. Inshallah, we will be able to learn more and learn further and apply in our own community NGO or even personal application on this August webinar. Alhamdulillah, we'd like to thank our committee organizer, the IIIT HK, headed by Brother Yusuf Yu. Jazakallah khair, brother, and of course the rest of the team, and of course our learning master here, who are all the way from the UK. Alhamdulillah, thank you so much for your time and effort and giving us this wonderful presentation. And dear brothers and sisters, help me welcome our training master, Ustadz Mamoon Al-Azami. Welcome, Sheikh.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. My brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. We have been, and this is an important topic about what is community development and why is it important. So today we are going to discuss this because we all have a role to play, to make a difference, to improve, to develop, to grow from where we are into where we can be. So this particular topic will be followed by how to deliver community development. That how part is the next month. So this month we talk about what and why, because these two with the how are the three most important questions we can ask. And you all have a lot of talents, a lot of ability to make a difference, because that talent and that ability is given by Allah and developed by situation and the opportunity taken by yourselves. So this way, we need to understand the what of community development and why, all based on Quran and Sunnah and the professional explanation. Okay, so let's move to the session contents. And I start off with quotations. And quotations include from Quran and Sunnah. Then a definition of community development and community development together. Then I'm going to talk about core principles. And this is a formula given by a UK community development organization. And then we move into Islamic community development. So those were the generalized versions. Now we talk about Islamic community development and why is it important. Then I will give an exercise, inshallah. Exercise basically is sharing any learning that you have. This is the important part for us. So first, I want to ask you if you can share in the chat box any quotation from Quran or Hadith that promotes community development in Islam. So that's the next slide. Yeah, this is the question I'm asking. Anyone? Can you give in the chat box any Quran or Hadith reference? Because this is something we have to do for humanity. This is very important for a Muslim. The faith in action is to provide something to make a difference in quality of life for humanity at large. We have responsibility for that. Okay, so I will move on to the Quran reference, Hadith reference. So this is first slide, quotation on community development. This is first slide. And the first one is the most important. And it is, Muslims should memorize it. This is Surah Ar-Ra'd, verse number 11. Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. If people do not change what is within themselves, Allah does not help them to change the conditions. So in other words, it's like laysa lil insani illa ma sa'a, that there is nothing for human beings except what they work for, and then Allah gives the benefit. Allah gives the good results. So we need to work. We need to work our best, and Allah will do the rest and get us to improve and develop and grow. So this is from Quran. Then there's Hadith. If a Muslim plants a tree or sows seeds, and then a bird or a person or an animal eats from it, it is regarded as sadaqah. Now, this is how we benefit others, including birds and animals, not just human beings. So if they eat because we planted the tree or the seed, and the tree came and the fruits came, and then people benefit, or birds benefit, or animals benefit, that benefit will be counted as sadaqah. The best thing to do is to do it for the sake of Allah. Then there is Abu Dawud reference. If Allah puts someone in position of authority and he does not fulfill the needs of the people or their wants or their poverty, Allah will keep himself away from him. Allah will not fulfill his needs. So therefore, help others, then Allah will help you, kind of message. So this is Hadith Abu Dawud. More references now from worldly experts. You can see Mother Teresa, Stephen Covey, Adelaide Hoodless, and H. Jackson Brown Jr. from US. So these are very important messages about we doing something for others. Mother Teresa, for example, says, I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters and it will create ripples. It will have an impact and people will see it, people will feel it, people will then join it. So there will be some movement. If I take some social action to benefit others, then others will feel it and they will benefit from it, and some will join it. Stephen Covey's message is particularly strong because we have differences and we have similarities. Similarities as human beings, but differences. But the most important, if you like, if you see my hand or your hand, there are 5 fingers, they're all different, but they come together and they become a force, and they become useful tool for many things that we do. So that's why the difference is a strength. If it is complementary, supporting each other, then if they were all similar fingers, I couldn't work. It wouldn't be a strength. It wouldn't be as powerful, effective. It wouldn't be as productive. So that's why strength lies in differences and not similarities. Then the next one is educate a boy and you educate an individual. Educate a girl and you educate a community, because the girl becomes a mother and the mother is the first school a child goes to. And the mother raises children, and that's the contribution to the society. So therefore, a lot of societies before Islam and even now in tribal cultures, they don't educate a girl, but she is the manager of the home. When she grows up and gets married, she's the manager of the home. And therefore, it is very important. And I will share after this a very important story of how somebody who never did any community development ended up doing a fantastic job. So the last quotation is happiness. If you make someone happy, if you give, that gives you happiness. So happiness is not in consuming, but contributing. Contributing is more happiness. Consuming is not as much. Consuming is, for the moment I'm consuming, I'm happy. But then afterwards, I'm not happy. But if I have contributed to others' happiness, others' welfare, then the thought, the feeling will make me much more happy. So this is going to the last slide on the quotations. This is, just read that. I will read. Once you educate the boys, they tend to leave the village and go in search for work in the cities. But the girls stay home, become leaders in the community, and pass on what they have learned. If you really want to change a culture, empower the women, or shall we say educate and enable the women, improve basic hygiene and healthcare, and fight high rates of infant mortality? The answer is to educate girls. In other words, there is a far-reaching impact of the future mothers' training and education. The 3 Cups of Tea book, that picture in front of you, is an amazing story. The writer, you can see Greg Mortenson, from where the quotation came. This book has a story of community development. This man was a mountain climber. This man was a mountain climber. It seems that you can't see the book on your screen, but I put it in the slide. Somehow it's not showing. So this Greg, now is the book coming. Yeah, the book is 3 Cups of Tea. So this mountain climber went to Pakistan, and he was an experienced mountain climber, but accidents happen, and it happened to him. And he broke his leg, and he couldn't move. And the village where it was located, the close by village, they were very poor, but they rescued him. They rescued him, and they didn't have much to give. They gave him 1 cup, second cup, third cup, so 3 cups of tea. But their hospitality, their care moved this man. So he asked why the children are wandering around. So they say there is no school here. Then he felt that these people have helped him, so he must do something to establish a school for them. And he never did this kind of thing before. He was only a mountain climber. He never even thought about it. But because he was rescued by the villagers and cared for him, gave him 3 cups of tea, so he made a vow, he made a commitment that he will go. He's an American. So he went back to America. He told his family and friends that he wanted to build a school, so they should contribute. And they raised money, and they built, he came back and built a school for the children of the village who helped him at his hour of need. So when the children started to go there, he felt very happy that he could contribute that to the children and their future. But he didn't stop there. He felt so happy. He felt so energized. He started to fundraise more and establish more schools. And over the years, he completed 52 schools. That one man who never did any community development ended up doing 52 schools as his enormous, fantastic contribution to the schooling of children in Pakistan's villages. So he ended up establishing 52 schools by mobilizing funding, by mobilizing people to run it, by mobilizing children to learn from it, by mobilizing the villages to find teachers and appoint them. And then just imagine, we have not done one school. This man who has no experience, no orientation, but because of 3 cups of tea, that's why he wrote this book called 3 Cups of Tea, that moved him to this fantastic achievement. So in other words, if he can do it, we can do it better because we have that background. Now let's go to definition. The definition of community, the definition of development is not there, but I will mention it on the slide. I have amended it since, and definition of community development together. So there are 3 definitions. One is community, another is development, and the third is community development. But here on the slide that you are seeing, the development is missing. I will just mention it. The community comes from the Latin word communitas, and it means there is something in common. So either religion is common, or culture is common, or race is common, or language is common, values are common, which means faith, and place is common. Like the Filipino community or the Manila community, because they live in the same city. Or the locality, or it is the Hong Kong community, or the London community. So this is location based. Or the Muslim community is religion based. Or it could be the Chinese community is race based. Language community, like the Urdu speaking in India, which is the main language of Muslims of India, whereas Pakistan, the mother tongue, although national language is Urdu, the mother tongue Urdu speaking are only 10% of Pakistan, because they have their own language. Each province has its own language. Each state has its own language. So Bangladesh has one language, but India has 36 states and 36 different languages. Pakistan has 4 states and 4 different languages, but they have taken Urdu as the common language. Okay, so this is a community. Development means positive change, progress, growth, improvement. These are situation going forward. So this is development, which is not mentioned there. Then there is community development, is where it's a process. It's the process of collective work, where people who live together harmoniously, making free choices based on how they collectively wish their needs to be met in a just and equitable society. So this is community development. So therefore, community development involves 3 Ps. There is the problem solving. So community development involves solving problems of people, of society, of individuals and collectives. Then after solving the problem, making prospect. So the prospect making is another P and another purpose of community development. And then participation collectively to make decisions that affect everyone is another purpose of community development. So you have problem solving, prospect making, and participating in social decisions, collective decisions. Okay. Now there are 5 core principles of community development developed by. So what are the 5 core principles? Can you think of any? I can see some chats there. Okay, so this is, so if you cannot share it, let me say that these are the core principles. There are, I reordered the words, the 5 words, to make sound Jita, so I can read. It's easy to remember. An acronym. Acronym is a word that you can read as a word, but they stand for, each letter stands for something. So J is for justice, because justice and fairness is fundamental in a society, according to Islam too, but according to any other religion and any other concept, justice and fairness in society is a must. This is number 1. Number 2 is equity, not equality. Equity, and I will show you what it means. For each one, I have a caricature, I have an illustration to show. So it's equity, not equality. And I will explain. Equity means everyone according to his or her needs. There will be no discrimination, but there will be no equality, means everyone gets the same, but everyone's needs are not the same. Then there is empowerment of the community. So community as a collective, and individuals will make own decisions personally, and collectively the decisions will be made by the group, by the people who are affected. So this is empowerment of the community. They can take action. And then T is for togetherness in learning and working. Togetherness in learning and working. So if there is no togetherness, there is no community. And then, of course, we learned, and the action will be to improve the community is A. So justice, equity, empowerment, togetherness, and action. This is JITA. This is Federation of Community Development Learning. This is the organization name. Their research produced it. These are the 5 core principles of community development. So if we want to contribute to any community development core component, we must focus on justice, focus on equity, empowerment of individuals and groups and communities, being together and learning and working and taking action to improve the community. So these are the 5. Let's take one, each one, and give an Islamic explanation. First is justice. So it is justice and fairness in society. And the Quran's reference from Surah An-Nisa, verse 135, you can see, stand firm for justice. This is command of Allah to the believers, because justice as witnesses for Allah. We stand firm for justice for Allah. And then the red mark, it says, do not let your desires cause you to deviate from justice. So if we have a desire, then we may deviate from justice. So or it may be personal desire, or it may be family desire, or our own subgroup desire. So we must not deviate from justice. This is a command of Allah. If we do, then we will be accountable and we will be punishable. Okay? Allah is aware of what you do, Allah says. So there is the illustration about justice. No justice means no peace. There will be no peace in society, no peace in the country, no peace in the world if there is no justice. As we can see, as we have racism, for example, is a pandemic, not just COVID. Racism has been a colonial project, and they have come and ruled our countries, and this has left a legacy of injustice, suffering, looting, all these things. And that's why the world is so nervous, and so it lacks peace. Also lacks peace because the ruling class, whether it is in society or country or internationally, the ruling people are not always just, and therefore the world is not in peace. So this is one illustration. Equality, equity, anti-discrimination. I brought in equality here, but equity is the core issue. The next slide is equity, equality, equity, and anti-discrimination. Allah says in the Quran, Surah Hujurat, Surah Hujurat is number 13. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. Now this is the most important part, the red part. Indeed, the most honorable of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous. So we need to be righteous, we need to do right, and then we will be honored by Allah in dunya and akhirah. So this is illustration comes, look at equality, equity illustration. So look at equality, and it's not justice because it's not according to the needs. Equity is justice because it's according to needs. That's why I was saying equality and equity is not the same. You can see in the illustration, equality creates problems if you ignore the needs. And equity solves the problem because it is according to needs. Can you see equality given everyone same means you can see the man did not need it but was given. The other boy, he needed it, but it was not. He was given and he needed it. Okay, and the little child cannot benefit from it because it's not enough. So equity needed him to get 2. So the man didn't need it. So they can all equally enjoy the game that they were watching. So this is what I mean, equity versus equality. The next is empowerment. And I have 2 references from Quran. This is there has come to you a conclusive proof from your Lord, and we have sent down to you clear light. So the light has come, therefore we have been empowered by how to live life with clear guidance. This is in Surah An-Nisa 174. And Surah Al-Ma'idah, again saying a light and a clear book. And Allah guides those who pursue His pleasure. And then from it, the book guides people from darkness to light by His permission. So you can see that empowerment, when we have light, we see things, we can make decisions, we can run our lives. This is empowerment. So in an open society, in a free society, Islam provides individual freedom that Allah has given. And the rulers deny that. Many rulers deny it. So Allah has given the empowerment of the individual, of the family, of the community. So we need to honor that. We need to protect that. We need to preserve that. We need to promote that. So this is empowerment. And look at that empowerment. Decision-making, skill, there is advisory, there is planning. So they can take initiative and they can achieve things. Achievable empowerment and motivation. So all these are empowerment, that to have a vision and to implement that vision, to play a leadership role, to undertake research. All these, there is teamwork, everything is free choice. Free choice, and let people come together freely and they can produce much better results. Okay, so this is illustration. Togetherness, I provide 2 verses and 1 hadith. You can see Allah commands, hold the rope of Allah means faith, Quran, Sunnah, all together. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. So then Allah says, اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا. This is Surah Al Imran, verse 103. It says, remember you were enemies to each other, but then Allah put the hearts together and you became, by His favor, brothers to each other. So in other words, when we become friends and brothers to each other, or we become a family, this is a blessing from Allah that the 2 hearts are put together. This is very important to recognize that community requires hearts connecting with each other. Family requires hearts connecting with each other because we are social by nature and we need other people to be happy. So Allah says, لو أنفقت ما في الأرض جميعا ما ألفت بين قلوبهم لو أنفقت ما في الأرض جميعا ما ألفت بين قلوبهم ولكن الله ألف بينهم. So this is, if you spend the entire world's wealth to put 2 hearts together, you couldn't do that. It's Allah who does that. So that's why to build a community, we need that Allah's help to connect the hearts, and so we can work together. And then believers are brothers. So one needs to make settlement, meaning solution, and not continue quarrel and fight. Then the Prophet ﷺ says, believers are like a structure supporting each other. So this is community. This is togetherness. Now the illustration of togetherness you can see. So all races came together in the hands. You can see different colors. And then the society, different types of people, 4 types coming together and making a whole and supporting whole. So this is what togetherness means. This is how we should work together, even though we are different, different colors and different locations, different skills, like the hand I showed. Next is the action. And I got 2 references from Quran here. You can see the action is, if we spend our wealth for the help, to help the others, Allah says it is like you put a grain into the ground and it grows 7 years and each year has 100 grains. What Allah is saying, if you do something Allah will give you 700 times reward. This is what the message is. One seed producing 700 seeds or grains. And therefore, we should help out others, because Allah will return it by 700 times. This is what this Surah Al-Baqarah 261 is saying. And then Allah is also saying, if you help others, it is like giving loan to Allah. Subhanallah, look at the word Allah uses. Helping out others in sadaqah is a loan to Allah. That means Allah will pay back multiplied. And it's a promise of Allah in this surah, Surah 57, verse 18. Okay, now look at the illustration of action to help the community. So this is working together for the benefit of all. So we need to think about others, not just ourselves, not be selfish, just me and my family, my workplace, and end of story. No, we can do much better when we die. If we do something for the community, for the sake of Allah, when we die, all the benefits, for as long as it gives benefits, and the sadaqah is counted, the reward is added in the qabr. So this is a wonderful opportunity for us to gain multiplied reward. Okay, now let's look at what is Islamic community development. This is because we do all those things based on the faith, which is values, the principles given by the faith, the practices given by the faith. So Quran and Sunnah is our base in terms of what we do in community development, and the purpose is to please Allah and seek Jannah. So there is a little dua that I do and I teach. Allahumma inni as'aluka ridaka wal Jannah. Simple, but this is the core of our purpose of living. Allahumma, O Allah, inni as'aluka, we beg of you, ridaka, your pleasure, wal Jannah, and Jannah. So this is what we need. Islamic community development means we are doing for community, but to please Allah and get Jannah. So if we are disconnected from that purpose, from that intention, then we get nothing from Allah as reward in akhirah. In dunya, Allah will give, akhirah nothing. Then we have concern, we have commitment, we have competence to support the needy in the society. And if there are two people, one Muslim, one non-Muslim, needy, if we just help the Muslim, then we violate Allah's command and Rasul's guidance, because we have to help humanity. This is Surah Al Imran, verse 110. Kuntum khaira ummatin ukhrijat linnas. You are the ummah, you are the community who have been selected to serve humanity. So we must serve everyone who needs the service. Then we treat human beings with respect, with responsibility, and with dignity. This is what Allah and Rasul says. Islamic community development means someone poor, someone illiterate, someone powerless, we still respect him, because he's a human being just like me, or she's a human being just like us. So this is why Islamic community development requires respect, responsibility, and dignity. Okay? Why is it important? I have two verses here, and one I have already said. It's important because Allah says that the whole community, we are actually one family from Adam and Eve. Allah is saying one man and one woman who started the human race. You should know that this is, you come from the same source, same original parents who were created by Allah, not born. They didn't have parents, they didn't have siblings, they only had each other, the man and wife. So we are all family, human race, human family. And Allah says, so you cannot, you should compete with each other to do good. And all of you will have to, only Allah, to Allah will all of you return. And He will tell you what dispute you had. So in other words, don't get into dispute. Get into helping each other in doing good, common good. This is what Islam teaches us. Okay. Also, this is a command of Allah. I was saying, Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas. This is the verse 110 of chapter 3, Surah Al Imran. But also, we have to love our brother, our sister. If we love something for ourselves, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. This is from Bukhari and Muslim, that we must be able to do for others. Again, this is next slide. Why community development is important. This is Bukhari, 2 from Hadith and 1 from Ali. If anyone fulfills his brother's needs, Allah will fulfill his needs in dunya and akhirah. So this is very important, that if we want Allah to help us, we must help others. And then Bukhari says, this is khairun nas man yanfa'un nas. The best of humanity are those who help others, who are beneficial, who are of benefit to others, who help others during their needs. And look at what Ali radiallahu anhu said. Meet people. So if we can connect with other people in such a manner that they will weep for me when I die, they will long for me, they will want to be with me when I'm alive. Is that the situation with us? This is sort of reprogramming our attitudes so that we relate to people with a positive attitude, with a devoted attitude, with a pious attitude, then we get that. Okay. Now let's have some experience shared from you. Is the last slide. Do you know, anyone knows that now this is a time for you to speak? So I hand over to Brother Azhar for people to speak about the purpose of any project that you've been involved in, the process, how it was started, and the product, the results of that project. So purpose, process, product. Can anyone share something from what you have done or you have seen? Okay.
Jazakallah khair, Ustad, for the presentation. So as what Ustad Mamoon is trying to get out from the participants, from all of us actually, is to share our experiences on the community development project that we have observed or that we have participated with. So this is a good timing for anyone to share. Anyone, just you can unmute and start sharing. There is a guide question in the screen. Why was the project started? How was it started? Then what did the project achieve? We have anyone?
I know that Brother Azhar, yourself and Brother Yusuf have done many projects, but let others speak. Otherwise, you can select someone at random and ask. I know Mir Sadi from Dhaka. He's involved in many projects and quite successfully done so. I would like maybe Sister Siti to share something. And Sister, is Noura there? Yes, Sister Noura to also share. So it's not just brothers, it's sisters also to share. So Brother Azhar, you can select who will speak.
Yes, so Ustad Mamoon has identified.
You can volunteer for them, that is. If they don't volunteer, you can volunteer for them.
Let's hear first from them, Ustad. so that we can also listen from their experiences. I believe we have different participants coming from different parts of the world, right? We
Yes,
came from Philippines.
I can see Alam Sharif from Bangladesh and Sadi from Bangladesh. I do not know about Brother Nazir Ahmad.
I think Brother Mir Saadi from Bangladesh would like to say something. He unmuted a while ago.
Okay.
Yes, okay. Assalamu alaikum to Allah. In the name of Allah, eternally merciful, specially merciful, and may salam and darud to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Can you
Let's say,
open your camera also so we can see?
okay, right this moment, I'm not in a good position to open the
Okay,
camera.
okay, okay.
In future.
Go
So
ahead.
it's a great opportunity to listen, Brother Mamoon Al-Azami. Alhamdulillah, we have a family connection. So he's my just like my elder brother. He's my first cousin. Alhamdulillah. So we have a family program based on Quran Majid, and Alhamdulillah we have built up. First of we started from the family that is based on the translation and interpretation of the Holy Quran by my great grandfather, Maulana Mir Abdul Salam Rahimullah Alayhi. So we have a family program every month since 1997 March to till today. Alhamdulillah, this is 24 years plus. And later on in 2018, we have started to develop it in academic form and institutional. So we have called it Institute of Family Management. And later we have also developed another program that is called Bangladesh Family Foundation. That's for all community, irrespective of his religion, ethnicity, whether he's a believer or non-believer or atheist, it doesn't matter. So he'll be part of it, he or she will be part of it. So we have some common programs. Alhamdulillah, we have started such programs. So what we need to strengthen our understanding. First of all, as a Muslim, we have to learn Quran and Sunnah. That is our main source of knowledge. We must keep in mind that we have no way. We don't have any other choice. So first of all, we must learn Quran, and also we'll try to others to involve them with Quran and Quranic teachings. How it's applied, how it is applicable in the society, we must think about it. Unfortunately, nowadays, many of us are trying to learn Quran, but we ignore the Quranic teachings. Or in other way, we don't have ummatic feelings. We don't feel for each other. We don't have sympathy or empathy. Maybe somewhere sympathy is there, but empathy we have totally lost. So it's very important. And I just say 2-3 points, and I will conclude my speech. First of all, our knowledge about Islam is very poor, and in many cases, not from the original source. I'm particularly talking about my country, Bangladesh. Second of all, it is probably applicable for everywhere. That is, we are not aware about our enemy, Shaitan, Devil. We totally ignore it. We forget it. Those who are Islamist person, even they do not know, or because they talk each other in a way, it does not reflect the Quranic teachings, which means Shaitan playing behind the scene. So Alhamdulillah, we have a project about Shaitan, and inshallah it will become in Juma's khutbah. We have already 52 lectures, and today inshallah in Institute of Family Management, we have a lecture at 7:30 p.m. Bangladesh time. It will be 51 the lecture. Inshallah, we can join. I invite
This
you.
is in Bangla
And last part,
or English?
okay, yes, actually it will be in Bangla, but yes, we can translate in inshallah. So I'm just giving the points. It's the very important, because if we don't know about our enemy, so we are actually helpless. Enemy is provoking us, so we don't know. There is a conflict between two person. So who did it? This enemy. Conflict between groups. Who did it? Enemy. Who? Invisible enemy, shaitan. So we must know. So it should be our collective efforts to know our enemy. Who is our enemy? What is the strategy and how to get rid of it? So inshallah, we have started, we are trying to it. And most of all, yeah, we must take some appropriate measures to develop our sympathy and empathy. We must have ummatic feelings, and it must be start from family, neighbors, colleagues, friends. So may Allah guide us in the right direction, and may Allah reward us here and hereafter. Amin. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Jazakallah khair, Brother Mir Saadi. That was a wonderful sharing. Alhamdulillah. So much have said, mashallah. But like to emphasize on the ummatic feeling, as this is what is, I believe, needed for our community development, for the ummah of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I also believe Sister Nora had unmute her microphone. You can also share with us, Sister. Right? About anyone share from our brothers and sisters from Philippines? Brother Saadi is from Bangladesh, and they are
Yes.
doing wonderful things. Alhamdulillah. Anyone from the Philippines would like also to share?
Yeah, it would be good from different countries. Yes. You can choose, not instead of anyone, you can specify and say, like brother, is it Sister Norain, or is it Norain Abdul Manan?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sister. Can you share something in terms of either you have seen or you have been involved in any particular project for the community?
About community development.
Yes. Any
First
community
of all,
project?
assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa
Yes,
rahmatullah.
sir. I am Norain Abdul Manan Ali, presenting the MYO organization, which stand for Moro Youth Organization. So, in my experience, by the way, sir, I am a college student, 19 years old. In my experience, by joining a lot of organization, that the aim of organization is helping other people, especially the young people in this generation. And in what I've seen, by helping those people who's fortuneless, especially the orphanage, the kids, is helping them to have that things that they cannot get from their, because their orphan is um it's such a pleasure for us to being able to help them in a way that we thought that it's such a simple things for us, but for them it's such a big blessing that they got from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for me, it's having that sorry, sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Having that special skills by helping other people in our country, especially here in Philippines, that is known for or part of the rankest country that is poverty is high on the rank. So I think helping that people na by by such a little way, sir, is um something that we can be proud of, kasi we are in a country that is known for the very poor country, and in some way we know how to help our community. And for me, I believe that that simple help can contribute a big development to our community. That's for all, sir.
Very good, very good. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Keep
Shukran, sir.
help.
Shukran.
Even if we help one person, it is still positive. And
Yes,
if we
sir.
can
Yes.
come together and help more people, then it will be wonderful.
Yes, sir. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you so
Inshallah.
much, Sir Norain. Helping the orphans is a very noble thing to do. When we help
Yes.
the orphans and the hereafter, inshallah, Prophet ﷺ told us that we will be close like this, making
Subhanallah.
his finger closed. So inshallah, will be one among those who will be close to our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Can we hear from Brother Alam Sharif?
Brother Alam Sharif, unmute and open the camera if you can. Go ahead. You have unmuted, but we can't hear you. Maybe move to another person because his sound may be not working.
Inshallah. How about Brother Mushfiqur Rahman? Brother Mushfiqur Rahman, can you share with us your experiences in community development?
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Walaikum
I'm
salam wa
Mushfiq
rahmatullahi
Rahman.
wa barakatuh.
How are you all?
Alhamdulillah. Can we see you? If you have a camera.
Camera fee.
Anyway, tell us about your any community project that you have been you have seen or you have been involved with. Now we can see you. Yes. Okay. Are you from Bangladesh?
Naam, I'm from Bangladesh, and I'm new person in this project.
Okay.
And I want to. At first, I want to hear about this and know about this. After that, inshallah, I'll comment about this project.
And have you heard my presentation?
Now, just but at now I am joined this program.
Oh, so you have missed the whole presentation.
And
Ah,
yes,
okay. So if you put your contact details, email and mobile, the organizing team can send you the messages, inshallah. And also your mobile, you should have Telegram downloaded so that you can be added to the group, so you will know automatically from the group, because we have a planning team, and the planning team will let you know. Okay, and just share something in terms of, have you done any community work, any work coming together, a few of your friends, to do something for the community? Have you done anything like that?
yes, I have involved some of community at first, an education institute. Now that's I have joined on a education institute. Its name Haji Shariatullah Model Madrasa.
Okay, so an Islamic institution that you were involved in establishing, right?
Yes.
MashaAllah,
And
MashaAllah.
Inshallah, if you
This
start,
is
inshallah,
this is your project. Think of the madrasa that you have established. It's a project. It's a community project. Community educational project. So you should think about the purpose. What was it for? The process, how it started and developed. Product, what results are you getting? These are the three questions I have asked for people to share. And this is what the chair, Brother Azhar, has been asking everyone. So this is the, so, okay, let's listen to others, Brother Azhar. So Brother Mushfiq has been
Thank
involved
you.
with an Islamic school. He clearly has been involved with an Islamic school formation, and this is a very good educational institution. Is one of the most important projects that we can undertake. Brother Azhar, find somebody else to share.
Thank you for sharing, Brother Mushfiqur Rahman. Alhamdulillah,
Thank
can
you.
we hear from Sister Nora? I think she's back.
Yes, she's back. I know there is a connection problem for some brothers and sisters. So Sister Nora, you can unmute and share your observation or experience. Oh, she's coming and going. That's why. Go ahead. It's important to learn from each other.
You can speak, sister. You are unmute.
And mute again.
Okay. How about
Sister Siti?
yes, Sister Siti Nur Haliza?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi.
Okay. Sister Nora is speaking.
Go ahead, sister.
Because of connection, we are not well able to learn from the experience of Sister Nora.
Yes, I think this is very difficult to hear if we have some internet problem. I think Dr. Anwarul Wadud have unmute his microphone. Would you like to share, brother?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan.
How are you, brother?
Alhamdulillah wa shukrulillah. Go ahead and tell us something so we can all learn from your experience.
Alhamdulillah, we have a new Muslim community. We are working with them, I think, since 1 year.
MashaAllah.
If I am not mistaken, right, Brother Adzhar? Alhamdulillah, we started since last year. And Alhamdulillah, before it was very small community. So a small support, a small motivation can have a big change. Now it's almost 43, Alhamdulillah. And since
43 new Muslims.
New Muslims. And from
MashaAllah.
last month, we started a small program for generating income for the community. So now
Very nice.
we have a small masjid there.
MashaAllah.
Inshallah, in future, we have a plan to have a big masjid or markaz there with madrasa.
MashaAllah.
And also we are looking for a place for the graveyard for this community. And you know, the little things, if we just extend our helping hand, surely we will get some product, we will get some benefit from it. So last month we extended a small help to one sister. She embeds Islam, I think it's almost 1 month. She's 44 years old.
MashaAllah.
And for her family, they kick out her from property and from everything. So while we were there, she was crying. Alhamdulillah, we were listening her. So what is her expertise? So she was, Alhamdulillah, she was HRM graduate. She graduated
MashaAllah.
HRM.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah, it's a hotel and restaurant management. So she knows how to cook. So Alhamdulillah,
Okay, wonderful.
some groceries, utensils for her, alhamdulillah. And now she started a small business. Even though despite we have here now, what they call ECQ. ECQ is going on, but every day she has some income, and they are updating me every day. Okay, we have this.
MashaAllah. This
Alhamdulillah.
actually, this is kind of income generating project for people to become self-reliant is one of the most important poverty alleviation projects we can undertake.
Alhamdulillah. And,
It's an individual to individual, but it's actually making her self-reliant. And that's most important. I say, if you don't have food in the stomach, there will be no Islam in the head.
That's good. Yes. So alhamdulillah, and we told her sister we want to regenerate this money. She was agree. Okay, no problem. After we gave her 3 months. Okay, after 3 months, we will start to return back the money. So we can share these blessings with another new Muslims. Alhamdulillah, the community is very happy with this idea, and alhamdulillah, they are agreed. So now maybe this month we'll try to help another one, and this inshallah gradually everyone will be empowered, and inshallah with our one investment, inshallah it will continue with others. Inshallah.
Yes, this is. I will share something later on, similar thing about helping out with the short-term loan, interest-free loan, so that they can become self-reliant, and then they are in a position to pay back. Yeah, very nice indeed. And in fact, my comment, Brother Azhar, is I have seen in my experience the most open people among 25, 30 countries that I have seen. I have not seen Philippines, but I have met Filipinos, many in Jeddah. The Filipino people are the most open to Islam. They are most friendly people. They don't get into fighting. I have not seen a single fight in 20 years in Jeddah among the Filipinos. And they are 80% of the people who are becoming Muslims in Saudi Arabia from all the nationalities there. Filipinos are 80%. So Philippines is a country, and Filipino people in general are much more amenable to consider the becoming a Muslim. So we need to reach them out by akhlaq and by practical guidance and the project like Brother Anwar described. This kind of project to make them self-reliant is vital, but they are, so those who are in the Philippines, brothers and sisters in this program, please take my experience of 20 years in Jeddah, knowing Filipinos, that they are best people to accept Islam, fastest, quickest, and in large numbers. So it's amazing that you are in Philippines, and these are the people I'm talking about. So go ahead and do your work, help them out, not only with Islam, but also with self-reliance. And you know the risk that this lady faced. It's important for us to prepare to counter that risk and make them self-supporting. So you are in that country where you can make a difference in terms of their quality of lives. They will, and not just that. I know one. I knew many Filipinos in Jeddah. I know they always, once they become Muslim, they pull the entire family with them. They don't relentlessly, non-stop, they try to convince them. And then I have seen in a Dawah center, the center manager was a Filipino, a revert Muslim. So even I learned how to say Kumustaka and Mabuti. This is what I learned from them. Okay, Brother Azhar, find somebody else to share.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for sharing, Dr.
Okay, we on the Kamustakan Mabuti Mashallah.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Can we have more share from the group? A while ago, the sharing was by Attorney Anwar. Actually, we have followed this project carefully, alhamdulillah. And for just the discussion was long. I'd like to make it directly concise to answer this question flash on the screen on community development. Why was the project started? So it started with there is a problem in the community, and in this case, a sister need help. He was kicked out by the family because he became a Muslim. And how was it? How was the project started? Brother Anwar, we did a assessment among the sister. What is his skills and how can we help her? And she is good with. She graduated HRM. She's good in cooking and baking. So we support her by giving the materials, utensils to start with a small baking shop. And what did the project achieve now? She is now continuing to sell some products, and she agreed that if there is an income that in 3 months time or more, and there is a good capital coming back, then she can turn it back to us and we can support another sisters. In that way, the project will be self-sustaining and will be more helpful to other future brothers and sisters that are also in need of help. So it's there is a development in there, and we are in that case we are developing one person at a time. In the case of the sister. So Alhamdulillah, any other would like to share with us? There is Sister Aslia Pangandayan. By the way, we will end inshallah by 5:30. It's time is 5:15. We have 15 minutes before our trainer will wrap up inshallah. So we have time to share more.
So Sister Aslia, I would like to hear from her. And there is brother, is it brother Lawambai?
Lawambay Usman. You can unmute your. Okay, Sister Nora is trying to speak again.
I know the internet connection. There is Jeb Angles. Jeb Angles. If
Jeff
he could
Angeles.
speak. Angeles. Okay, Angeles. If I can, if you can give him, ask him also.
Would you like to share, Brother Jeb Angeles? You can unmute your audio and then you can speak, inshallah.
So they all have some connection problems, it seems.
We heard also from Sister Sitin or Haliza.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sister. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, I am Siti Nor Haliza Bacol, a yatima, and I think that the project development that we have done is that first of all, I am a yatima, or something like they called without a father, and I know what it feels like to have no father because you don't get everything you want. But then, alhamdulillah for being contented with what you have, because it is a big help to your faith to be strong in all things. So I am one of the representatives of MYO organization, which stands for Moro Youth Organization. And in 19 years of existence, I have joined many organizations whose purpose is to da'wah to the Moro youth as much as we can and help those in need such as yatims, etc. And all those organizations have contributed donations given to the poor like yatims, especially here in Cotabato City. So since I am a resident also of Cotabato City, so like Noreen Abdulman and Ali, we are also the ones who work together on the repairs and to carry out these programs, alhamdulillah. And many
Alhamdulillah.
programs have already been done like this, alhamdulillah. And inshallah, many more will follow bi'idhnillah. That's all, sir.
Very nice, very nice. And your Arabic is so good, mashallah, mashallah.
Thank you so much,
Not just
Sister
English.
Siti.
So maybe you will become Arabic speaker as well, mashallah.
Inshallah. Thank you, Sister Siti Nurhaliza. It seems that he also came from Muslim Youth Organization, and I heard a few participants coming from this org. Inshallah, hopefully, in time sooner we'll be able also to collaborate with your org. Just keep up the good work, inshallah. And for everybody's information, she mentioned about the moro. This moro is the pertaining to the Muslim Filipinos or the Muslim in the Philippines, especially the big tribal groups. So alhamdulillah, she is sitting right there in the sitting capital of the Bangsamoro government. Alhamdulillah, in Cotabato City.
Oh,
Thank you for
Cotabato is
sharing.
the Bangsamoro head office, is it?
Yes, yes, Ustad.
MashaAllah. I know about Bangsamoro. I know about Moro. There is Moro National Liberation Front, Moro Islamic Liberation Front. I know about those things.
Correct.
And the Moro people are the mainly Muslim people.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Brother Jeb Angeles, would you like to say something, brother? We have 10 minutes, 5 minutes for sharing before we wrap up.
If not, then I will just supplement what people have been saying. I have been involved in countless number of projects, but I personally did something, an economic project that which has similarity with Brother Anwar's this financial support for people to become self-reliant. So I will just say that what happened is that my uncle, who has now since died, in 2004, when my wife was in deathbed from cancer, he had an idea that all those people who are working in good positions abroad should pay during Ramadan. And it was Ramadan 2004. During Ramadans, some money, which is equivalent to $100 at that time, which was 5,000 local currency. So said that to help the poor people in the village, and he wanted to give it away. So I just suggested that if you give them interest-free loan for something income generating activity, like buy them some poultry, some fish, maybe some transport, some working equipment, and then they will pay back between 3 to 6 months by earning. And then you can lend others, while the donors can next Ramadan can give another $100. So it will grow and it will help more people. After 3 years, he insisted that I see the record. He said, Mamoon, you gave the idea and look what we have been able to do. 26 families became self-reliant in 3 years.
Alhamdulillah.
Now think about it. And of course, part of the deal is that they become more attached to Islamic practices. They learn and follow Islam more. So you have the economics and you have the religion going together. So, and the fund became bigger. I think it is being managed by his cousin, who was going every month to the village to give and to collect. So there is a big amount now, because it has been for some years. I've not been giving. I've been retired for 5 years now. I've not been giving after retirement, but it became a quite significant amount that is still circulating. So if 3 years, I don't know how much the amount was rotating at the time, but he showed me listed 26 families who don't need who need to beg anymore. Now that's amazing. If one person, or shall we say 2 of my uncles, they got together and they delivered the project, the concept initially came from my uncle, my father's younger brother, and then he got involved, his cousin, my another uncle, and then took my idea and it shaped the project design, economic project design, and then it became successful. So individuals can do something. Therefore, in the community development, we don't need to do big projects. We can do small projects and we can still make a difference. The whole issue is, am I adding value? Am I making a positive difference? Am I showing this my ideas for them to become self-reliant? And all these activities we do for this pleasure of Allah and Jannah. If these 2 are not there, then we have nothing in Akhirah. So we need to keep that in mind, alive, burning, that purpose that we want to please Allah. The ultimate goal is to please Allah. By doing that, by making somebody happy, I become happy. That's the nature of things. The consumption doesn't make me happy, contribution makes me happy. So this is my one project of many I wanted to share. Okay, so Brother Azhar, it's for you to conclude and end the program. From me, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much. Jazakallahu khair, Ustadz Mamoon Al-Azami, for the presentation given today. And of course, we'd like to thank everyone who've been very participative of this community development discussion on the what and whys. Inshallah, we would like to encourage you to share what you have learned in any form of social media, especially in giving da'wah within our scope of responsibility, our family. Jazakumullahu khairan. A few quick reminder, inshallah. This webinar is being done every month. This is conducted every second Sunday of the month. So I believe the second Sunday of the next month would fall on September 12th. So
yes,
inshallah, we will be seeing you. And also, this is being recorded, as the proceeding will be edited and will be posted in some other social media platform to be able to reach more audience, inshallah. So again, thank you for your participation. This is not the ending, but only to conclude today's webinar on the community development, what and whys. Again, thank you, and we'll see you next month, inshallah. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana, innaka antal alimul hakim, wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.